learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in as September 3rd, 2020, and Robinhood is supposedly under investigation, or reportedly, I don't know. But what does this have to do with the market? What does this mean for your Robinhood and everything? Honestly, it means nothing. I still have Robinhood. We love Robinhood, I mean, to a degree, with what you could do with it. But for the most part, I just wanted to put that as the title for you guys. It's not really going to affect you, but if you trade on Robinhood, we'll see you on stream. However, the market is going crazy. You guys already know that, but we have a lot to talk about. So I want to go over what happened in the market today. You saw the rotation effect come to life. The markets absolutely killed it today, although Apple and Tesla did not do as good, and it was kind of big what happened, but not really big in the sense of what we've also seen over the last few weeks. So we have a lot to talk about. I got the plays, I got the keys, and other stuff I'm looking for tomorrow. It's going to be very, very straightforward and simple, but we still got the jobs report on Friday. We still have some opportunities, and we have a lot of stuff, crazy stuff to talk about with the VIX and the SPY and all of that. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life, and yes, it's the beginning of the month. You could even meet your soulmate. Yes, it happens. And the most important thing you need to do, post or watch this below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything. Post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. But right off the bat, the first thing, we talked about this yesterday. You saw it, and honestly, I think it's just like setting off a counter, or it's counting down again. And this could happen for some time. I'm sure we're going to see this correlation break. But what you have to see, people even asked me about the title of the stream today. What do you mean by the SPY and VIX converging? Pretty much, instead of diverging and divergence and separating from each other and going opposite ways, they're actually converging and moving in the same direction. So what you're seeing is the S&P 500 go up. We hit more record highs today again. Even the NASDAQ closed up 1%, and Apple got absolutely clobbered, but the Dow killed it. So did the S&P 500. But now, during all of this, the UVXY, the VIX, the fear indicator, the put-to-call ratio, this is going up, and that's indicating some fear. So you guys could see this over the last few days. We got our VIX play a few days ago. Again, I started picking up on this not too long ago. We talked about it, but there was many reasons associated with our trade. However, when you're watching this play out now, this is where I'm saying it's getting really interesting. And honestly, you haven't really even seen the VIX move this consistent straight up in like a 1 week period in a while. And it's very, very interesting considering what you're seeing with the market. So everything's literally inflating. So that is the first thing, and really one of the main things to watch this week will be if this persists. How is this even coming into the jobs report? And then if we keep seeing this, there might be a breaking point, or it might even lead into a complete different set of plays, or even other stuff. It might signal something else. So that is the first main key for today. The next thing was you saw the real rotation. Again, Apple kind of overshadowed the last few days, but this is what we were talking about with rotations. We kind of saw it yesterday, but again, that Apple influence. But with the NASDAQ up 1%, the Dow and the S&P ripping like they are, it's showing you that some of these companies were kind of all ready to move, whereas the last few days you saw it within tech, Apple, Tesla, certain names. So this is important because now what we want to see is, one, does this continue? How does this affect the markets? But now go back to what we kind of saw a few months ago coming into the fourth quarter, coming into this rotation effect. We'll see what gets thrown at us, even with, again, inflation, policy, all that. But the key is going to be winners and losers. So keep watching this rotation. We know how to pinpoint some of the winners and losers. Again, we've been kind of looking at them, but now let's see if there is going to be a real follow through, or who is really going to run and be one of these rotation winners, and that you're going to see kind of a lot of people rotate into, or who are you going to see people rotate out of. So there is that. And then again, finally, with like the broader sense and just looking at global markets in general, commodities have been chill. You guys remember we looked at that commodity list. I was talking about this around the same time as that UVXY play and some of those other ones, but they have been pretty chill. But now silver has been the most active. It's been a little bit more active than gold, but watch out for both of those. And then now today, there was some moves in the Russian currency. So this is the Russian currency, and the news was like Germany confirmed that Russia like poisoned somebody or one of the spies or something like that. I mean, it sounds like it's from a novel, Tom Clancy book, but notice the ruble is weakening. So this is kind of catching my eye, but in general, in the scope of how currencies have been moving and just the dollar, if any currencies start to pop off, it catches my attention. So even in the currency scope, especially how Russia has been moving, 2.5% is a decent amount. So that was something that surprised me today. I wouldn't call it notable, but I want to watch everything else again with the commodities. But right now, that whole VIX interaction with the market, that could be pointing to something. But till then, remember, this could be signaling momentum both ways. So I hope you guys are ready. But that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, not too many plays. I want to go over one play, RKT, the spread. So Rocket Mortgage, they had earnings, and now I think it's kind of dying down, some of this earnings hype after Zoom and Docu and all of those. But it was kind of a dud. They ended up going down, so I'm going to lose $200. But what I did was a spread, and now I will get to that trade because I want to even show you guys. It'll say complex option on E-Trade. It's a little bit more difficult, but you could still do spreads on E-Trade. So I did it on here. We would usually do this on Robinhood. It's a little bit better, but I'll give you guys the quick example. But now also, as we go through a lot of the trades today, I made a lot of different trades, but a lot of it was closing out some of these old plays. So we talked about this. We brought this up on stream. Please do not forget the difference between your account balance and how much cash you have if you are trading pretty much a fully options account. What we like to tell the Chads of the cult is pretty much don't have an amount of cash that you're not willing to walk away with. So options all expire at zero. None of this is a recommendation. They are very, very risky. So you have to assume that every time you buy it, you're going to lose. So if everything expires, that means when it's all said and done, you will walk away with whatever your cash balance is. So my account value is at $17,000 right now. That's good and dandy. We have profits, we have plays, but realistically speaking, I cannot fool myself. It's really worth about $9,000. So we've been having a good couple weeks here. You guys have seen plays. Some of you have been hitting plays left and right, even plays I haven't even got. So here is a good reminder to remember cash balance and account balance. So I did a lot of selling today. We will go over them pretty briefly, but keep that in mind. Now, as far as the RKT spread, what's the logic of this and what did I do? I did a debit spread. So what that is buying one option and selling an option at the same time. So you could see here, I bought a 45 call for RKT, but then I sold and shorted a $46 call. So the whole benefit of this and what this allowed me to do is play RKT for earnings, but it had a lot of premium. These were the furthest out the money. They cost $200. I didn't want to spend that much. By doing a spread, I was able to buy them at 20 cents a contract. But because I only paid $20, it comes at a cost, and that is a capped gain. I spent less money, but since I bought the 45 contract and shorted the 46, you could only make the difference between those two contracts. So that is $100. And then after premium and everything, you guys have seen it realistically, you're going to walk away maybe with $50 instead of $100, or you're pretty much going to get like half of that. So the idea with a debit spread, it allows you to play cheaper. You could even get closer to the money or a better contract, get the play for a small amount of money initial investment. You can only lose what you put in. However, the negative side is your gain is capped and you could still overpay for stuff or hit a really, really good move and barely make anything, taking a similar risk. But that's what I did with this play. But in this case, I got only calls. Did a debit spread towards the upside. Since I got 10 and sold 10, it was $250 or $200, and they went down. So I'm going to lose completely. So now in this case, that was better that I got to buy 10 of these contracts. I still could have made like $2,000, maybe like $1,000 off that if it actually did hit, but it goes down. I don't lose anything, whereas one contract would have cost the same amount. So that was the first play. The second play, a little bit weird, Amazon crazy puts. So I'm feeling a little toppish here. I have another play too. I will tell you right now. Hopefully I see you in the morning. It's going to be a secret global play. It's easy. Once you see it, you'll probably be like that, but I have an idea. I just need to look at something, but I'm not quite ready to put it on the watch list just yet tonight. However, you could kind of see where my head's at with some of these plays. And honestly, what I did, I sold some of those old gap plays. I had those 100 contracts on this account. I'm still holding 100 on the Robinhood, but what I decided to do was sell these, get my $1,400, and then I put $1,000 into about 1 year outputs on Amazon at $5 a pop. I got 2 of these 10-20 puts, but it's a pretty crazy play. It's not like crazy broad portfolio insurance. I just like it. I mean, I'd rather swap out those gaps. I had a lot of gaps and get pretty much one of the big tech leaders during this whole little VIX SPY tag. It's going up. You're seeing the inflation. I mean, at $5 a pop, $1,000 for a year. I'd rather put my money in that, but it's still crazy out the money. That's like a 60% drop on Amazon from here. But if anything, I'm sure volatility, or if anything goes crazy, we'll see. But it is a pretty wild play. And then finally, other plays I'm looking at, the last one's going to be Facebook, and I'm kind of iffy on this. I think it's a toss-up, but Facebook above $300 a share. I like it. It went up above there. And again, it kind of hasn't really broken out there since earnings. So you know how I am with some of these laggers. However, the market, it's just very, very interesting. You're getting the rotations. This VIX thing is a little bit weird. So, but then at the same time, I could be totally overthinking it. So my thing I'm doing is making sure I still have exposure. And even with the cash balances, we talked about that. I played a Microsoft play this morning. I said I wanted them, and I got them. Microsoft started to go up. Where is it? Yeah, I got them in the morning, these Octobers. Ended up selling them, went up like 20-30% throughout the day as Microsoft went up, and I just made them free. And that's what I did with most of these plays, even those old NVIDIAs. Those finally came out the graveyard. I just got my money back that I put in, and I'm holding it. And that's kind of been my philosophy here. Even those Honeywells, I like those a lot. We talked about those. Those even went up, but I ended up selling them today. But I kept 5 of them for free. I pretty much just got my initial, little bit more than my initial investment, and then I had those other weeklies. So I'm still giving myself exposure because you could still melt up. Again, this signal could be signaling momentum. However, now you just got to scatter the seeds. Don't get too crazy. That's what I'm trying to remember here. And that's what's making me, again, like some of these plays like Facebook, but kind of in this toss-up mode. So I can't be too hesitant, but then at the same time, I just can't throw too big of amounts in, and that's what I'm looking for. So those are going to be the main plays I'm watching. As far as everything else, sold those gaps, got those RKTs, sold my Johnson & Johnson September plays. Remember, these were break even, but I think I got like $200 back. Sold my squares. We had $200 profit, like 400 initial investment, so it was a decent amount of money. Got rid of the HONs, got rid of the Microsoft. I had Kroger's come back to like a little bit below break even, but they were still worth like $300-400, so I got rid of those. That was one of those free flips from last week. My CNKs, those Cinemarks came up again, 10 of them, 30 cents, $300. Again, I was trimming around the portfolio. I just pretty much was using this as a broad indicator with the cash balance. And I don't like the market, but for the most part, the cash balance is the best indicator. We did make a quick flip on AMD, getting ready for that earnings or the Intel event, and that Intel event was kind of a complete dud, but AMD didn't react, and I'm just holding the rest of these for free. I just pretty much made it free. Bought 100, sold 50 back. It went up a little bit more than I expected before the event, but I'm still holding those other 50s, but those are pretty much dead now. And then that was pretty much it. Again, as far as tomorrow, I have one play in mind. I will be watching everything else that I'm holding. We have a lot of open positions still. So even though I trimmed a lot, we still have a few remaining ones, and it's a pretty decent amount. So I have something in Snap. Going to be watching those. We picked up the long-term shares the other day. That's been good. Watch CRM, these Dow components. I like them. Again, you've seen the effect. That was the same thing even with Honeywell, so I like there. Watch Tesla and Apple. That's going to be fun to watch. Even how Tesla's been moving has been crazy. Watch RKT and any of these other crazy ones for the earnings continuation. Then there was Netflix, and then there was news that they got like Prince Harry and his wife, and they're going to do a show. But remind me about this tomorrow. We'll talk about this to kind of understand some of these news events, but I'm not really down with that. But as far as everything else, watch Amgen again, Dow component, even related to medical, and I am keeping an eye on these. Again, I got rid of the Johnson & Johnsons, but I still have like a January Pfizer. Remember, they got some of that news the other day. There's also Abbott too. Myrna started moving. Again, it's been selling off. It's coming back to this level. So this is a very, very interesting point given the context of everything. So keep your eye on that. And then UAL, we're still in that. They moved up a little bit today. So those remaining contracts are still there. And finally, you could watch TLT. It's coming back a little bit. I think it's pretty interesting right now because even the dollar's coming up, but it's still been pretty early. And what I mean by interesting is that Powell's been saying inflation, the fact that bonds have been going up and now the dollar's kind of turning, that's going to get a little bit more interesting there as well too. So watch that, GLD, but UVXY is going to be the main thing to watch this week alongside the jobs report. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining, and I need you to have the cash balance, baby. Put it in your hand. Get the cash. Be smart. Don't get too greedy. I was getting greedy. I had to check myself. You got to check yours. Till you appreciate it, then you're going to keep it and get ready for the next move, baby. But the court loves you. I love you. I will see you in the morning. Let's go.